Alright folks, woo! In this episode of 11 Gallery ATV, we are going to be assembling the front end. Yep, you're gonna see how we got all this put together, so woo! This is very exciting. We got some color going on. Woo! Alright, without further ado, let's move on and show how we got these spindles all cleaned up and wonderful. And we got the ball joints pressed in. We got all this torqued up. We got everything torqued up here. We have everything secured down, torqued up. And we're just ready for some hubs and some wheels up here. And yeah, whoo! It was very exciting. Finally into our build, we have some color. And a couple of beers, as you can tell. But they're actually serving a purpose right now. I can't drink them, they're holding my A-arms up. So you want to make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you ring that bell, and get notified whenever 11 Gallery ATV puts out the new videos. You will be notified, and yeah, you'll be able to catch up on all of this build and keep everything documented, under control, ready to rock and roll, so yeah. Alright folks, check this out. First thing we're going to do is we're going to assemble the subframe here onto the main frame here, and I already have it in the slot right here, and with all this powder coating on here, I'm having a hard time getting it to go into the slot, so it needs to go, I need to get bolts through here. And what I've been doing is taking a punch like this and pounding it through here, and then it'll go through here. Now check this out, so because now this bottom one needs to go back that way. So this already has a round hole. So what you can do is crank that through like that, and now we're closer. And then if we put this one back through the top here, there we go. I think I might need to get one here and keep one up here. Alright, so let's see if we can get one of these big ass bolts through there. So close. My punch is just not wide enough because I seem to have gotten it all the way through. Maybe if I crank it a bit down this way. There we go. Look at that. Now we just keep that one in there. We need a little more to the other way. And there you go. Look at that, beautiful. Woo! Now we just go around to the other side and do the same thing. All right, folks, now that we got these bolts, boom, boom, and these two over here, boom, boom, lined up, and everything's threaded in properly, everything is lined up, ready to rock and roll, we can get these torqued down. And they're gonna get torqued to 39 foot-pounds. But what we're gonna do, in the manual, it says to use engine oil on the threads. For some reason, I am not going to do that. If you want to follow the manual, that's what you need to do, is put some engine oil on the threads back here and torque these to 39 foot-pounds. What I'm going to do, though, I don't feel like this will ever come off again, so I'm going to use some Thread Locker Red. And don't worry, this is the 271. This is the stuff you don't want to use. Don't use the 272. This is the high strength, high heat stuff, and you will never get those back off again. Now you probably might, but you got to use heat and all that good stuff. and makes it worse for the next person that comes along. This stuff right here, this thread locker 271, we'll be able to get that back off again, no problem. And yeah, let's get down to it. So these babies right here are a 14. So let's just loosen them up. All right, so if I had to do this over again, I probably wouldn't take these bolts out at all. I'd probably just take this baby to the powder coater in one piece, not remove this subframe at all, and just have this whole thing powder coated, bolts and all. That's what I'd do next time if I ever had to do it again, and plus then my bolts would be white, which would be awesome. All right, let's get some thread locker on there. We don't need a ton of it, just enough. Let's get our bolts threaded back on. And then we'll snug them down first. You don't want to use the wrench side, and you don't want to put a torque wrench onto the Allen bolt side, on this side. You want to torque the bolt, because you'll strip the threads if you try to do it. You can hold it with the Allen head, the button head screw here, the bolt, but don't try to torque it like that. So we're going to use our torque wrench here, and we are going to torque it with the nut side. And then of course we're just going to hold it with this side. So yeah, 39 foot-pounds. Now we may have to go back down in here. There we go. 39. And then the bottom one. 39. All right, and then the other side. Some thread locker. And then we'll get them snug down to 39 foot-pounds. 39. 39. All right, bolts are snugged up. All right, folks. Now that we got the frame secured, next step we're gonna do, as long as we're all empty up here in the front, is let's get the steering stem in there. Boom. It's gonna fly underneath here. And it's gonna sit right in here. But first we need to drop a bearing in there and put a bearing cap on it. So yeah, that's the way that's gonna work. So, basically this is going to be a bearing, and we have it all greased up. You can pop these little seals off and put grease inside of there, which I've already done. And yeah, then that bearing's just going to drop in there, and then we're going to take the cover, we're going to drop it down on there, and it's got threaded, so we're going to thread it up and torque it down using this handy dandy tool that we bought on eBay. It's got a handy dandy 1/2-inch square for the torque wrench. That baby just fits right inside of here. So let's get to town, shall we? All right, folks, first step we're gonna do is the first step we're gonna do is make sure that the old bearing is out of there. And this is what it should look like. It should be all clean down there. You should have threads. You shouldn't have any of the excess bearing race left at all. Everything should be ready to rock. You should have this ridge right here, and this is where the bearing is going to sit on. So we're going to drop that in there. So let's drop the bearing in there. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Go Snoop. Anyway, yeah. No, don't ever do that again. All right. All right. So what we're going to do, we've already greased up the inside of here. And we pop these seals, we put some more grease in there. We used the Maxima waterproof grease. And what we're going to do now is put some more grease around the edge here. Want a nice little coat of grease on there. And then it looks like it doesn't really matter. They have writing on both sides. So then we're just going to drop this guy right on in there. And of course it didn't go all the way down like I had anticipated it would. Since we had this guy, I figured this guy would just drop right in there. I think we're gonna have to smack it a little bit here. We're gonna have to get rough with it a little. All right, so that didn't drop in quite like I had anticipated. So Went and got us a bearing driver here, and it should fit right on there like so. And we shouldn't need very much force, so I'm going to try just my vice grips. Look at that. There, it bottomed out, you could hear it. See how solid that got? It means it's on the bottom. Yeah. All right, so that bearing is all the way down, bottomed out, and now we can put the bearing cap on. And this thing just threads right in there. And you want to put the flat side down against the bearing, and this side is going to be up. So I don't do this very often, but these first two are the only ones that I'm going to be using red Loctite on here on outer peripherals, if you will. You know, we're going to be using some red Loctite in the motor, but so let's Loctite this guy up. That ought to cover it. And then we'll just slam him in there. And then we got this guy, so we'll just get it started. See if we can't just, there we go. And then we'll just use ourselves a ratchet here first. We'll snug it down. All right, now this guy gets torqued down to 47 foot-pounds. So let's get that done. And thank God our little tool here has that cool little slot in it. Boom. So we just need 47 foot-pounds out of this dog. 47. So next, let's get us our seal in there. And what we're going to do here is we're going to take some grease and we're going to grease up the sides here, and we're going to put some grease on the inside of here. The Maxima waterproof grease, of course. Now we can use our bearing seal, your bearing puncher again, and just kind of get that baby on in there. Once again, we shouldn't need a ton of force, so let's get the edges down with the channel lock should cover it. Now we're in there, nice and flush. All right, and now we have another seal, and it is going to go on the bottom. All right, now we can get the bottom seal in there, and it's going to go right in here like so, and we're going to do the same thing. And the writing side goes out and the cavity goes in. And we'll probably have to get the basher out for this guy too. Aha! I got that one to pop in without bashing it a lot. But we got grease everywhere, huh? That's one thing that sucks about doing these, man. You get grease everywhere. And I got a white frame, which sucks. Alright, so we're a little off up here. So, we're going to take this guy, and it kind of goes in there. There it goes. All right. Now we're in there all the way perfectly flush. All right. Now we can get our steering stem plunked down in there. So before we do that though, the splines here and a little bit right here, we're going to put some grease on there. You know what time it is. The Maxima waterproof grease. Yeah, we're going to be hooking up right here. And some on the splines. All right, now we're going to drop our steering stem down through, and you want to make sure this guy's facing forward right here. This guy facing forward. And then underneath, and drop it right on into the seal and the bearing down there. And then plunk it through. Just like so. And now we'll get the front and everything else hooked up, and that'll be the steering stem. All right, next we're gonna put on our steering stem bushing assembly, and this is gonna wrap around here, and it's gonna be fitted with these little collars right here and a couple of bolts, and of course we have some O-rings. I don't believe this matters which direction that it goes, but it has a number 1 right here, and so does the other side. It has a 1, so I'm just going to make the 1 legible. That just makes the most amount of sense to me, so I'm gonna face it this direction. But I don't really think it matters. Anyway, so then we have these 2 O-rings, and they are gonna go inside of here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the first one, and I'm going to take the O-rings, and of course, we're going to use the Maxima waterproof grease, and we're gonna grease these dogs up. I'm going to take that out of there. I'm going to put the O-ring in here first. And I'm going to keep that opening down here. And then we'll take our other one and we'll put it on the bottom, of course. There we go. And now we got these openings right here, so we can wrap that around. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these around the outside of it. And I'm going to get grease everywhere, but it's just inevitable at this point. We'll wipe it off when we get ready to do it. Oh, it came out. Alright, stay there. So there we go, now we're in there. Oh no, what happened? Did that one turn over? Oh, there we go. Okay, you want to make sure that you keep these guys in that groove in there. There. God damn it. And you want to move it up. There. Okay. Well, this is kind of a pain in the ass. Now, you want to take this guy and stick it in there, but through those, there. And now, these little guys, which I'm going to put some grease around them before I put them in there so that they don't seize up in there. God damn it. Well, this is a crappy ass setup, isn't it? Yeah, it's not ideal. So you want to grease these up a little bit. And then just slide them on through. And then the other one. And slide it on through. And then what I'm going to do is take a little bit of grease and put it on just this outside part of the bolt. I don't want to get it on the threads or anything, just whatever's left over on my hands. Just a little bit. And we don't want to put that in there yet. So I'm going to put a little film on here as well. And this guy goes on here. And then this washer tab goes out here. You want these tabs facing down and out, like so. Now we can put the bolt through. And now we have to try to hook it up with the bolt holes back here. Boom. All right, now whatever's left over, we put a little bit of grease on the outside of this bolt here. There we go. Now, we're going to tighten these down and they're going to get torqued to 17 foot-pounds. This is, I believe, a 12 millimeter. 17. 17. 17. 17. All right. Now you want to bend these tabs up right here. And we're just going to use our vice grips here just to grab that sucker and boom. And then this one will go from the bottom. There we go. Just one's plenty. You want to make sure that you grab one that fits flush on there, because if we did this one, it's going to hit a corner. And if we did this one, it's going to hit a corner, so that's not cool. But those two should be plenty. That'll stop it from moving. And there we go. Now we're steering stemmed up here. So we can go down to the bottom and hook up the rest down there and get it torqued up, and we'll have a steering stem installed. Woo! All right, folks, next we're going to install what's called the Pitman arm, which is this guy right here. And basically this is the like the steering stop. It stops it from going on each side of here, and it connects the tie rod ends. And I could not get the tie rod ends off of mine, and luckily they're good. So we're not replacing the tie rod. We're not replacing the tie rod ends at all, or the ball joints up here or anything. So yeah. So we're just gonna put this dog on, but in order for us to save the powder coat, we need to wrap these dogs up a little bit so that they don't hit everything in sight. All right, so, and the Pitman arm goes in like this. This guy has to be facing up, and it only goes in here one way. It's got a little direct thing at the end of the splines right here where it will allow it to get in there, so it's straight. There it is. Boom. Then it goes up into the seal there. And then we're going to use a little bit of, one more little bit of red Loctite here. This is the last of the red Loctite, but I don't want the steering to fall off. That'd be very, very bad if our steering fell off. So let's get the thread locker 271. Not the 272, this is the 271. And then a big washer. And then a big nut. Woo! All right. And then a 22 millimeter. This thing gets torqued to 130 foot-pounds. So I hope this guy can withstand 130 foot-pounds, because I don't see any other way that I'm supposed to be able to torque it. And I might have to tip this thing on its side. I'm gonna give it a whirl, but I don't know if I can get this in there or not. Oh, just barely no. You son of a bitch. All right, now 130 foot-pounds is kind of a lot, so I don't know how this is gonna roll with this extension and everything else going on we got here, but all right, see if we can't get 130 foot-pounds out of this guy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to tip it on its side. So, let's kick that out of the way. Let's put that on the ground. All right, so I had to tip this on its side in order to get this accomplished. So we're gonna need 130 foot-pounds. So let's see if we can't get that taken care of here without destroying anything. I'm gonna have to step on it, I think. Well, 130 foot-pounds is a lot, apparently. There we go. 130. Woo! Holy cow, folks, that was a lot. I think that is the highest I've ever torqued anything before, was 130 foot-pounds. That was quite interesting. All right. All right, folks, now we're going to take care of these plugs right here. A couple little rubber caps that just go boom right on here, but we are going to take a little bit of the Maxima waterproof grease and hit the insides of these a little bit so that we don't they don't get seized up in there. Just a light coat. And the reason why I'm putting it on the inside is because we don't want to get any on the outside of here, because that will just attract dirt and dust and grime and stuff. So anyway, let's just slam these guys home. Perfect. Perfect. And now we have one more down here that's gonna be sit right here. It's got this little lip on it right here that just sits inside of here. This is for where the oil tank sits on. And these are the oil tank bolts, but we'll get that in later because we want to free up this space for now. But yeah, let's get a little bit of the Maxima waterproof grease and get up inside of here just a little bit. And then we can just get a little bit of the grease on here. And then it just goes right on. Boom. And give it a little turn to make sure it's all good. And we'll just wipe some of that excess grease off of there. Tiny bit isn't gonna hurt nothing. We don't want to attract a lot of dirt though. There we go. All right, now we're gonna install our chain roller. So we're gonna put that right here. This guy right here, it's gonna sit right here and the chain rolls on it. It's got a collar and a bolt and a washer at the end that goes against here. But the way we're gonna do this to keep everything nice is we're gonna take this collar and of course the Maxima waterproof grease. We're going to grease up this collar on the outside, and if we get some on the inside, that's cool too. And now the collar goes in here, like so. And then we're gonna take a bolt and a washer, and we're gonna put it through the collar, right there. And then we're gonna take another washer and put it on the back side. And then we're gonna use blue Loctite this time, blue. We're done with the red, until we get to the motor, of course. We're gonna use blue Loctite. And we're just gonna feed this dog right on through here. All right, now the chain roller gets torqued to 13 foot-pounds. So let's get her done. I can't get her done in there, can I? Oh man, how am I supposed to do that? All right, so 13 foot-pounds translates to 156 inch-pounds. And we're gonna have to go to a smaller torque wrench, so 156 inch-pounds. Let's get her done. 156 inch-pounds, which is 13 foot-pounds. Woo, let's move on. All right, folks, check it out. Now it's time to get some color on this machine. Woo, this is coming together. This is exciting. We got the steering stem in there. We got a bunch of the rubbers and the covers and chain roller all installed. We got the frame buttoned up, and it looks like we didn't even do anything. So let's get some color on this thing. But before we can do that, man, I noticed a lot of you guys are not subscribed, and it would really help me out if you guys would just subscribe to the channel. Yeah, you get notified every time when 11 Gallery ATV puts out the new videos. You help me immensely if you could just subscribe and ring that bell down there. Get notified whenever 11 Gallery ATV puts out the new videos, you'll get notified. Alright, so now that you got that subscription taken care of, let me take you through what we did to these things and how you want to get your A-arms set up and ready to rock and roll. Alright, Franklin, what you doing, sir?
Right now, trying to press this out using the bottom pipe.
So we're going to take this guy and put that guy, and we're going to put that on top of it, and then this on top of that, and then we're going to press it. We are not going to do anything. Franklin's going to do it.
Alright, here we go.
So I think if you cruise like out here, you start going like here. It's arching again, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little more dangerous now. And it's bending that pipe.
Maybe the other way.
Wait.
I think I had it going this way, so I was putting more on the arch. Take
Well,
it,
I'd rather
and go
put it in the center.
back this way. Oh, okay. You want?
Because it's a little more safer.
We don't do safe.
I want to do safe.
There it goes. There it goes. You're the man, Franklin. See, folks, that's why I don't do things. That's why Franklin does it, because beautiful.
Yeah.
We might as well press the other one in while we're sitting here.
Yeah.
All right, folks, you want to get the new one started. Try to get it as even as possible. And then you give it back to Franklin. That's what we do here. So now...
So this is going to be a little backwards. You want the big one so that the ball joint goes all the way through.
I don't think you need that. I don't think you need that little cup at all.
Probably not.
It would probably work better without it, because it makes more sense to be on this ridge right here rather than on the center of here. Looks like it's in.
I'll call that in.
Beautiful. All right, number 2. We're not going number 2. We're gonna do number 2. Nope, we're not gonna do number 2. I crack myself up sometimes, Franklin.
I can see it in your face.
Boom. There you go, folks. Now we press a new one in, just like last time. All right, we're gonna press in the next one. Just gotta get it started first. Franklin's off the camera. Yeah, I say it might make it easier to use that thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll leave a mark on there. I think it'll be all right.
And these ones have that little bevel chamfer, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And that's it.
That one got hard to do though. How come the last one didn't?
I could keep going, but it's going to bust right through
Let
here.
me see it. Oh, see, that's way harder than that's done.
Oh, alright.
The other one, we can still just keep on pressing. Wonder if we should put the other one back in and try and put that on there.
So this is where you
There, now I feel comfortable.
Now you feel comfortable.
Now it's in there. Wait. Definitely, now I'm cool.
My sister's going to pick them up.
I thought that was your truck. I was
Yeah, me too. I was like,
dude, right here,
Sure.
right in front of us. You're just gonna take it, huh? Let me see it, Franklin. There you go, folks. New ball joints, all the way around. Get her done. The top A arms, you can't replace the ball joint. So it says in the manual, if you need to replace the top one, you got to replace the A arm. So that's just the way it is. Non-replaceable ball joint. All right, folks, so before we get going here and putting these A-arms on the machine here, let's just go ahead and, we got one last couple steps we need to do to finish up these A-arms. So, we got one little piece left. We're gonna have to put a snap ring. We're gonna have to put a snap ring onto here, right here. And we're gonna have to grease these. We already have all these greased up. We got one left to do. So we're gonna pop these things out and get them greased up, get the snap rings on. Let's do it, and then we can get these babies installed. Woo, it's exciting. We're gonna get some color onto the machine back here. And yeah, we're gonna finally see our work starting to pay off. So let's get it done. Woo! We just got the ball joint pushed into the lower right here, and there's one thing left we need to do to this ball joint, and that is, boom, we have a snap ring that needs to go right on in here, like so. So let's get that baby up on in there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of the Maxima waterproof grease, just put it on the outside of here a little bit. All right, and then we can just pop our little snap ring pliers in here. Let's see. Opened up. Oh, there went half of it. So now, we got half of it on there and half of it off. There it goes. Ow! It's got my fingernail. All right, so, woo! It's a good thing I got longer fingernails because that could have been my finger and that would have really sucked because these snap rings are really, really tight, which are good. So, yeah, that was interesting. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this guy so that it's in the back. This might be easier said than done also. There we go. So there we go. All right, one snap ring taken care of. Now we can do the other side and we'll have both snap rings done, but I'm not gonna record it. You get the picture, you know how to do it. Anyway, one more thing we need to do to this guy is we need to pop these bolts. I've already done all of them except for this one right here. So we're gonna do this one together. So this one's already done, nice and greased up, perfectly ready to go, but we need to pop these caps off. And what I like to use is socks. Find some that they're not gonna make it any longer, so nice and holy. The holy socks, what? Woo. All right, so then we just clean up the inside of here real good. And I probably should have just threw these things in the ultrasonic cleaner a while back, but I didn't. They are pretty nasty, as you can see. But yeah, just get some of that, just get all that grease up on out of there. And then we have a sleeve in here. We need to pop this guy out and clean him up. And if your sleeves are bad, if they're all corroded and rusted in there and stuff like that, you'll have to get new ones. But these are really good still. There's nothing wrong with those. They still have the factory coating on them too. All right, so one more thing before we do this is we're gonna try to, this is why I like using socks, is because they're nice and skinny and they can fit right on through here. Ooh-wee. All right, and then once you got that all nice and cleaned up inside of there, then we can take our Maxima waterproof grease once again right here, and we're gonna throw a nice coat on this guy. And then just shove him right back on through there. Put a little bit around the edges here, and a little bit inside of here. And then we'll just cap this guy off. And a little bit inside of this one. And there we go. Then you want to wipe off the outside of here because it'll just collect dirt and grime and dust and everything else. All right, and then what I like to do is take a little bit of grease and put it on the bolt here. Not on the threads, just on this bare part right here. And try not to get it up underneath here either, because when it squashes in, it'll wreck your torque settings if you get too much on there. All right, and then we just wipe off our threads. And we just slam our washer on there and the nut. And there we go. Now we're ready for installation. Yeah, let's get these dogs on the machine. Get some color flowing. Woo! All right, folks, we got one side accomplished. One side taken care of. Now we're gonna walk you through how I got these babies on there. And the manual calls for a kind of a different setup than what I'm used to, so I did it that way and it seemed to work out all right, so we're gonna do it. Boom, there it is. All the torque specs and everything. So the manual calls for you to take it apart, and then it says to install it in the reverse order that you took it apart. So what they did, they installed the knuckle onto the arms first before they put it in the machine here. So I did that and it worked out all right. So we're gonna do it. You can see that if you go back and look at the numbers, the knuckle has a higher number, so it goes on first. So yeah, let's get her done. All right, so the knuckle is going to go like this, just like so. And you can see how shiny and beautiful they are. And you want to see how they got to be this way? All right, folks, check this out. Now we're gonna go from this to this. Yeah. Let's do it.
One eternity later.
All right, now that you've seen how awesome and beautiful and shiny this thing is, let's put it on, shall we? Put it on, put it on. All right, so this is obviously the top, this is the bottom right here, and this one right here is the tie rod. So we got the tie rod kind of sitting up on a box out of the way, but let's put the top one in. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this guy, and it's going to go like this, right? So we're going to put it in like this, and we're going to try to slam it down as far as we can. Turn it over. And this is why this kind of works out pretty good, so we don't have to worry about trying to get all this stuff to line up. And we're just going to snug this baby down, hopefully without it spinning on us. There we go. These things get torqued to 18 foot-pounds, so let's see if we can't just get that thing torqued to 18 foot-pounds. All right, so now that we got that snug down on there and it's caught, we're gonna go ahead and blue Loctite it before we torque it. So let's put some blue 242 onto the threads here. Then we'll just zip that baby back down again. And then it gets torqued to 18 foot-pounds. And this bottom one's gonna be okay. I don't know how we're gonna do the top one, because once we put this through, I don't know how this is gonna fit in there. So we'll figure it out, but. So 18 foot-pounds. I said 18 foot-pounds. Let's try this. There we go, 18 foot-pounds. And now, we shall put this guy right on the bottom. Then the washer, and then we'll use some blue Loctite. And now, I don't know if we'll be able to get that torque wrench in there because we got I don't have a 1/2 inch 17, so I got to use an adapter, and it makes it a little too tall, I think. Oh, look at that, we got in there. And I'm gonna have to do the same thing here. There we go. All right, 18 foot-pounds. We are torqued up. Now we can install this dog right on in there in one big old chunk. So we're gonna try to pop these guys down here. Boom. And then this guy is going to go up here. This kind of makes things sort of handy. Uh-oh, I spoke too soon. I want to make sure these are all capped off good. There we go. The bolts all go with the bolt heads out towards the front. So see now, it makes it kind of easy to work with here. Just get that baby pop through there. And then we can crack it like this. There it goes. And then let's just get this guy nutted up so we don't have to come back out. And now we might have to finagle this guy. There he goes. And this one might need a little finagling as well. There he goes. Now we're in the slots. Once again, the bolts go bolts out, bolt heads facing forward. Oh, I had it there. There it is. There it is. Now let's cap that guy off so we don't come out of there. Now, the last one, we need to get this lined up. How are we doing? We need to come out a bit. There we go, if we raise it up. And of course, the very last one wants to be a little bitch. Isn't that the way it always works? When you're ready to be done, the last one doesn't want to work at all. What am I missing? Ah, okay. So we need to go up. How's that? Nope.
One eternity later.
What is hitting now? It needs to go up. There, is that it? What the fuck now? Now back out. Now back up. What the fuck? All right, so this one is not cooperating at all. So let's put this in there and try to, there. No, what is the one now? Oh, now I'll move that way, come on. No, I think it's because we might need to keep this up here. Let's try that. Why didn't I think of that, sir? I don't know. All right, let's get this guy out of there for a second. There. Now if we get this back out, that'd be awesome. Come on, you're almost there. Okay. Are we there? Are we there? Are we there? Are we there? Oh no! So close, what am I missing? Oh. This might be powder coat issue now. I'm gonna do, you don't do this. You're gonna ruin the threads, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Don't do it, don't ruin the threads. Oh, there it went. I don't recommend doing that, but I got a thread cleaner, so I figured if I jacked up the threads a little bit, I'm all right with that. Let's see how I did. I believe our threads are still okay. I think it was getting cut. Oh yeah, look at that. Threads are fine. We just brought a little bit of the powder coat out, so powder coat was in the way. Boom. Yes, our nut still spins on just fine. And this guy should be okay. All right, a little bit of powder coat on that one too. All right, well that was interesting. And the other one on the other side did not do that. So I should have recorded that one first. Anyway, here we are. Let's get these torqued up. And we're gonna blue Loctite them, of course. So let's hit this guy first. Okay. And you probably don't have to blue Loctite these because they have kind of lock washers on them already, or lock nuts on them, but they're used, so that's why I'm just putting some blue Loctite on here, just to be safe. It's not gonna hurt anything, so why not? And then of course this one up here, let's get it blue Loctite. All right, let's get these torqued up. 17 nut and I believe that's a 14 bolt. Yes, that is a 14. Let's just get them snugged up real fast first. And then the top ones get torqued to 27 foot-pounds. The bottom ones get torqued to 40. This longer bolt gets less pressure than these two shorters. 40, 27. 27 foot-pounds. All right, let's get this baby set to 40 foot-pounds. 40. 40. All right, torqued up. And now let's just get our tie rod end hooked up while we're sitting down here. It's just gonna fly right on onto here. So our tie rod end is going to hook up right underneath here, and it's gonna go under. And we are not going to torque this or anything right now. No Loctite, nothing, because we're gonna have to adjust the toe and good stuff like that and make sure everything is good to go. But we're gonna just secure this up for now. And it gets a washer and a nut. And let's see, if you were going to torque it right now, if you're ready to go, I believe this gets torqued to 18 foot-pounds. Let's look. 18 foot-pounds. All these castle nuts are 18 foot-pounds. Woo! This is very exciting. We got some color going on. Finally into our build, we have some color. And a couple of beers, as you can tell. But they're actually serving a purpose right now. I can't drink them. They're holding my A-arms up. Anyhow, so yeah. So you want to make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you ring that bell and get notified whenever 11 Gallery ATV puts out the new videos. Yeah, you'll be able to catch up on all of this build and keep everything documented, under control, ready to rock and roll. So yeah, we got us a front end. And I believe we should probably put our shocks in there maybe. Oh, I think we're gonna have to wait till next episode to get our shocks in there and get some wheels on this dog next time. Woo! But you know what time it is? Peace out, Girl Scouts. Woo!